Hello everyone, this is Yael from Yael Alchemy, and I'm here to bring you the weekly twin flame reading for the week of October 1st to the 7th. Okay, you know what, I was supposed to give out the weekly reading last week. Okay, and before I was working on it, I was going to work on it, I remembered this reminder from my website, the site administrators, to be GDRP compliant. Now, for all those of my subscribers who come from the European Union and the EA, I think, or the EA states, and that would include I think Ireland, Norway, and other states. And there are quite a few of you, including my existing clients. You would be very familiar with the GDRP. It's the, oh gosh, I forget what it's called, but it has to do with data privacy laws for citizens in the EU and the EA. Anyway, so I set about understanding what it was about and getting my site compliant. And so it already is. However, it took me longer than expected because I had to make the privacy policy and do all that. And however, I still consider it a blessing because in the nature of my profession, I have a quicker understanding of these laws, okay, and how to craft privacy policies and all that. So anyway, I'm just telling you that because you may be surprised that now my site has this thing about, cookies and the consent form, which I would request because it's required under the GDRP. Okay, I noticed that some light workers are still not, who do have other sites, they're still not yet compliant with this. And well, I don't know what to say about that. Because right now there's a row between the EU trying to get the US to comply with this GDRP. In fact, when I check my own country, we still don't have laws to really incorporate the GDRP. And here, because we have a very, well, I wouldn't say booming because it's been in place for several years already, even decades, that a lot of outsourcing is done here. And that means getting the data of people and clients from the EU and the EA. Okay, so anyway, do bear with me. If you visit the site and you would like to order something, you do have to first click on the consent form, fill it up, and it would have been easier if, you'll do this all telepathically because we know that you really don't go into energy work without your consent. Right? But it's required now. So just a shout out to all my subscribers who hail from the EU and the EA that my website is GDRP compliant. Okay? And your information is safe with me. I do not share it with anyone. It's just that way. In fact, I don't even know majority of what my clients look like. Seriously, I just know you by name and by your energy signature when I give you readings. Okay, so well, that's it. Just fair warning if you do visit my site. Anyway, that's why I wasn't able to give the reading last week because it took longer than expected, and it was the start of the work week, and so there. And I was supposed to give this reading yesterday also, But I was guided by Spirit to offer a different ascension tool for those who might need it. Okay, which is important at this time. That is, we are ramping up to 11:11. Okay, I'll talk about that later on. And it's just that, you know how though I make those title cards so that I show them with the video that took longer than expected, so it's just now. And if you hear the rainstorm here, yes, just imagine it's like the Calm app where you just pick thunderstorm. It is raining here right now, but it is a welcome rain. It has been scorching hot the past couple of days, and it's because there are a lot of storms and it's sucking in all the rainfall. But of course, we feel blessed that these storms, these typhoons, you might call them hurricanes, they don't pass. They've sort of skipped my country, for at least for now. We have several more storms expected. But okay, so now let's go into the reading. As always, I've already prayed over the cards and shuffled them. And at the bottom of the deck, look here, we have the King of Wands. And the King of Wands signifies a burst of creation. This is a will, pure will, taking your sovereign position as creator of your reality. And this is a good thing now because we're moving into the energies of October. July, August, they were really, really tough. September, ascension symptoms were lesser. It seems to be a breather, okay? Still trying to recuperate and to really integrate the purging, the changes that we've had to incorporate the past several months. But now we're heading towards this, the creator energy. Okay, and then here we have another Wands card, the Knight of Wands, meaning really going after what you want to create. And what would that be? We have the Nine of Cups. So these are your most sacred hopes, wishes for yourself and for your heart. Okay, you see here there are several lotus candles floating here, and the lotus flower really symbolizing the unconditional love. But because this is what you offer, you get the fulfillment of your deepest desires in turn. And that's what we're gearing up for at this time with the onset of October. Okay, and then here we have the Knight of Pentacles. That here, this is going to fuel this night. While he might be considered one of the slowest knights, well, that's because he's working with the dense energies of 3D. Okay, but this night, make no mistake, this night is sort of transforming this will, this thought, these energies of creation into something, into matter, something that you can feel, touch, hear, taste, right? And then here we have the Knight of Swords. But the Knight of Swords, this indicates the speed, the decisiveness to move forward towards that, the fulfillment of your Nine of Cups, right? And the manifestation of your Nine of Cups here in 3D. And while the Knight of Swords indicates the speed, the decisiveness, the determination to do it, look at this. He charges forward. This Knight has the colors of the heart chakra and the higher heart. It's gold and green. So that's your motivating force in moving forward, because this is a time wherein not only are we amplifying the energy of, or let's say, sort of the, okay, let me restate that. not only are we trailblazing to really help other people on the planet accomplish that paradigm shift of really living through the heart instead of just the mind, okay? Because right now, for those who have already, I don't know what's the right word, transformed, okay, their light bodies into crystalline, this is how it's going to be. Things are going to go much faster. And that is the energy that you are trying to amplify to others who are still not aware of it and are still stuck in the 3D paradigms, in the old ways of doing things, the old ways of seeing things, and really getting stuck that, because 1 + 1 = 2, or even in the human concept of time. Okay? And so there, if you work through your heart, okay, and you can see here, the lightning really reminds me of the silver platinum ray. It's very powerful, it's very transformative, and you have to be careful when you invoke the silver platinum ray because it's so powerful. It can actually clear nuclear spills, but when you work with it, you really have to send it back right after. It cannot linger. It's that powerful. So this is the speed at which somebody creating from the heart can get to manifesting their dreams and wishes in this particular density. Okay? But there's a reminder there. Wait. Yeah, see here? You have, that's the last card I'm going to read here. This is the Princess of Pentacles, which would be the equivalent of the Queen of Pentacles, meaning that she has accomplished. This is kind of like a mini empress, okay, especially in 3D. So there, I'm gonna stop there. But so there's a reminder there that as we push forward with our creations, that we are being reminded to create with the heart, because there's much speed there and much clarity in store as regards these wishes, hopes, and dreams that you want to manifest in 3D. Okay, so now let's move on to the Divine Masculine's portion. That took a while, but maybe, yeah, because whenever I do it bi-weekly, these readings, there seems to be a lot of messages coming in. But so I will try to do it more regularly, okay, especially when I feel that the energy is changing. Okay, so for the Divine Masculine, first we have the Two of Pentacles, then we have the Wheel of Fortune, then we have the Sun card, and then we have the Prince of Swords. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, first for the Divine Masculine, well, overall his spread seems good, okay. Here we have the Two of Pentacles. Now, the Two of Pentacles, remember, the Divine Masculine, he has quite recently achieved breaking through the old barriers of thinking, that of the old stereotypes of how to live, how to love, how to work. But now, because of his being illumined and enlightened as to the different aspects of his personality, not limited to his personality here in the third dimension, but as to him being a multidimensional being, or him being a twin flame. Now there is this balance going on. You can see it's like yin and yang, because he has it's taken some time, but he has acknowledged and is now able to incorporate the divine feminine within him. Okay, and here, so this two of pentacles indicates an as above, so below. This also heralds changes leading to transformation. The transformation here will be spoken of in the next card. Well, let's pick it up. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune, because change, in order for the divine masculine to move forward, you can see this Wheel of Fortune here, to the new lifestyle, the new way of living, him being true to himself, which is largely a big issue before with the divine masculines who stayed in certain situations because he felt he had to, he was obligated to. So this heralds this the change can be uncomfortable, but this is him keeping balance. You can see here the infinity symbol. Okay, because now he is able to tap into the divine feminine, and the divine feminine from which he draws his strength in his vulnerability, his adaptability to change. Then that's going to help him move forward into whatever is in store for him. Okay, even the divine masculine is uncertain, but because he knows, he has a greater and deeper understanding of how things work, he is I wouldn't say bearing the change, but he is not even tolerating, but he's accepting that some discomfort, okay, is bound to occur while shifting during his personal shift. Remember, and this is a microcosm of what's happening in our planet as a whole. We're all undergoing this shift. Did you hear the thunder? Is that confirmation of what I just said? Okay, anyway, it's like, and here the divine masculine understanding that he has to go through this shift so that he can reach this. So this would be the transitory card, right? The Wheel of Fortune, because these changes are imperative for him to move forward, for him to complete his cycle. Okay, and here, yes, because here this includes also you can see here the four well, elements, but they're not depicted here as elements. They're like the four corners of the earth, the wolf, the bear, the eagle, the bull. Okay, they represent the four corners of the earth. The Wheel of Fortune is also the alchemical symbol for earth here, depicted here. But look, it's transforming from the core. Okay, and the divine masculine integrating this knowledge that this has to happen, and he's willingly undergoing the discomfort and even sacrifice of those changes to get to here the sun card. Okay, and here the sun card, you can see here there's a yin yang symbol in his heart. It's now balanced, meaning that from the inside, he's already balanced. He's not resisting anymore, whether it's the concept of his beloved, the idea that he has to be happy in this lifetime and not get stuck in just certain situations. So this full illumination brings so much possibilities. You can see here that there is a butterfly here and a child. Butterfly indicating transformation. You know, the journey of the butterfly from the cocoon, from the larva, a caterpillar, larva, cocoon, chrysalis, and until it becomes a beautiful butterfly. And see, he is undergoing that. And as he undergoes that, here we have the Prince of Swords, meaning very decisive, okay? And very decisive. You can see here these crows, these vultures, and well, they look like crows, but usually, I don't know, you associate crows with I wouldn't say the dark side, but usually, um, well, if they were vultures, they would pick on carcasses, right? And here he is here's the divine masculine with a sword of truth. Um, Fending away, defending himself, his transformed self, okay? Because you can see here, these butterflies, I spoke about them earlier. You can see here his cloak. It's red, signifying the root chakra, signifying the survival skills that he has. Not only that, connected to the earth. So these are things that he's currently undergoing here in his 3D existence, right? The transformation in his 3D existence. And he's very protective of that because he wants to really do away with anything that brings the darkness towards him. Okay? Anything that's keeping his growth stunted, anything that's keeping him limited, okay? As regards his freedom, as regards his growth, his ascension, he's valiantly fending them off. And this is born because look, this is below the Two of Pentacles. So this is born out of him keeping balance of what is above, reflecting what is happening below. He's finally got it. It's clicked. Okay, and now he has a great understanding that he has worked to get into that kind of thinking and being. It's like if his divine light was activated within him already, there is a consciousness there that that one has to work on keeping their vibrations high and to really incorporate the wisdom and the lessons and the purpose that he's learned connected to himself and his beloved into 3D. That's why here he's keeping balance while doing this. That's what helps keep him balanced. And like I said earlier, this Wheel of Fortune really leading him towards this Sun card. Okay, so what does that tell us? He's doing the work, but here, this is the difference between if you're a boss and you have two employees and the other one is just doing it for the money because he's supposed to do it, and you have another employee that's doing the same kind of work, they have the same output, okay, and this other employee does his work consciously, meaning he's going to build on whatever experience he's learned, whatever. He's not in it just for, because, you know, getting paid is a consequence of being here and following all these instructions. So there's a huge difference. Even if there's still two employees, you still pay them the same rate, and all that, and the output is the same. Okay, so there. So that's a good thing for the Divine Masculine. And this week I was guided to use the Galaxy cards. And, oh, wow, okay, see, this is what I was telling you earlier on. Divine Masculine now entering into a new consciousness regarding the Earth. Okay, regarding what he has to do here in 3D. But that being balanced out by his newfound wisdom. It's like, you know, if you look back on your life, the level of understanding that you have now is probably different from the level of understanding you had 15 years ago. Okay, if 15 years ago you had a beef with this or that person, if those same circumstances happen to you today, even you would realize that you would react to them differently. Why? Because you have a greater understanding of how things work. You have a greater tool chest, okay? A more complete tool chest that helps you understand what is truly important and what you have to let go. So that is all part of the new consciousness that's currently anchoring in the divine masculine and still, again, tied to the earth. Okay? So this is, remember, macrocosm, earth. What's going on with helping this earth ascend to the fifth dimension. Okay? And then, so this new consciousness anchoring in also also anchoring in the divine masculine, which is a microcosm of what's happening on a larger scale. Okay, now let's go on to the divine feminine. First card we have for her is the Eight of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, and the Seven of Cups. Okay. So here, we start here with the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, and the Eight of Pentacles indicates continued work. You can see here all the different various animals in the planet. And here, these are hands of the Divine Feminine. And I say Divine Feminine because it starts from blue. It starts from Isis, creation, the Great Mother. Okay, really dipping her hands into the planet so that, and you can see the orange here. Orange relating to the sacral chakra, relating to the pleasure, okay, that this planet. And since really, if you look at it from the point of view of other galactic beings, the Earth is such a different planet. And you know that, we are an experiment. We are an experiment. And that's why, and several times we've had the council that is in charge of this experiment has sort of decided to continue the experiment despite several occurrences of really wiping out everything, wiping out the slate clean. Okay, so anyway, so this is continued work on the part of the Divine Feminine. And here we have the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles, this indicates that, this is waiting for the harvest, saying that it's still not yet ripe. So she continues to work as she waits for things to really bear fruit. Okay, and here we have the Five of Cups here, which indicates these are feelings of loss, of disappointment, that all this waiting has brought on. And honestly, I was surprised to see these cards, because remember, I was telling you that excuse me, I was guided to offer another ascension tool this week, and that ascension tool is the forgiveness Reiki. Okay, and I'm going to talk about more of that later on, but it seems to have something to do with this. And of course, I just picked these cards now, and so it seems as there's a synchronicity there, that these are the cards. Okay, because this is a disappointment that some of the divine feminines feel about something that has to do with their waiting. Okay, and here we have the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups, these often indicates choices, okay? Because in the course of waiting, in which they have harbored this disappointment at how things turned out, this Seven of Cups, this indicates choices. So as the Divine Feminine continues her work, she's going to be faced with some choices. And this card really reminds us to pick the choice that would be for your highest good. Because this disappointment, that is going to, it's like a wrench thrown into the, what do you call those? The, like the one in the watch, the one's a turd. There is an expression, it escapes me right now. Okay, it's like a wrench thrown so that all the turning wheels stop. It's like that. That's how disappointment works. Okay, whether it's born out of guilt, resentment, self-pity even, but it serves also as a distraction to what is to your true goal, okay, which is still forthcoming. Okay, and that's why the divine feminines are being told to truly choose wisely on what you choose to work on, okay, especially in 3D. You may get waylaid because of your disappointment with the waiting. So there, you're being told to choose wisely. And let's open this card for the Divine Feminines. Okay, we have complete surrender. And this comes from Lyra. And this would be my intergalactic ancestors because I come from Lyra. So here, the thing with the Lyrans is that this card comes after the challenges that they were faced with prior to their evolution as a species. Okay, because before realizing that they were advanced species, they were really it was a very masculine force that was pushing the Lyrans to conquer, to spread their beliefs. Okay, so it was a very pushy force, but eventually they realize as a species that they can't control everything, and that some things will really they can't control the outcome, especially in their realities. And when they incorporated, and I'm going to call it their, the divine feminine aspect in themselves, okay, then that's how they were able to advance as a species. Okay, so there, in your, here, this would be disappointment. And the card here we have is complete surrender. Because with the realization that you can't control everything, this disappointment, it's going to help you, especially when you have to make these choices. Okay, and you know what? It just occurred to me. I was watching this movie, okay, entitled UFO. It stars Gillian Anderson, and there was a quote there, and wherein the lead character, the guy that was the brilliant mathematician, he said, and it struck me, that's why I'm sharing it with you, it says, what are the most important questions in the world? Number 1, is there a God? Number 2, what happens when we die? Number 3, are we alone in the universe? And then he goes on to say that if anyone could answer those questions, it would change everything. And then it occurred to me that most light workers already know the answers to these questions. And that's why your ascension journey changes you profoundly. It changes your paradigm, it changes you profoundly. Okay, sorry about that. But there, I was saying that it changes you profoundly. And if you, well, actually, I don't know. What do you think are the most important questions in the world? If, aside from those three. So if you do think of something that would, get included in this list, then do share, write it down in the comments or something, okay? Anyway, I'm going to pick a card in the middle. Yeah, here from this deck. Okay, here we have the Moon card. And the Moon card, okay, this brings illusions, dreams, really delving much into the subconscious. Okay, and it's there because you know what, our subconscious, others would call it our higher selves. This is connecting with a higher self in order to guide us through these energies that we are currently going through. For the divine masculine, it seems that that's exactly what he will do in order to incorporate in his current life the new consciousness that he's getting. For the divine feminines, tapping into her subconscious as she completely surrenders, so that these disappointments right now won't tip the scale towards her taking 2 steps back. Okay, so really understanding that. And that's why I suppose, because it was because of this that I was guided to offer this ascension tool that I was talking about. And this would be the forgiveness Reiki. Okay, forgiveness Reiki, it would be 30 minutes of Reiki with divine codes for forgiveness, betrayal, the wounds of betrayal, abandonment, and to lift resentment and to vibrate it with a frequency of peace. Okay, and for harmony and resolution after conflict with others, for self-love and self-worth to increase to optimum levels, and for consolation and comfort to the soul that only the Divine Mother can give. Okay, because look, if you look at the cards, okay, this always happens when I cut it. Remember, we have the King of Wands. Okay, here. We have the King of Wands, okay, and the Knight of Wands, okay, at the bottom of the deck earlier on. But you know, this great leap, all this resentment, forgiveness, if you haven't forgiven yourself, and this may include guilt, if there's still some forgiveness that needs to be done with others, that's a very challenging course to take in our ascension journey. And the thing is, if there's still residual anger at yourself, towards others, for what they've done, because, especially since they may not be as spiritually advanced as you are, then that hampers this process of creation. Okay? And we want to make the most of those energies, and sometimes we need help from the divine energies of Reiki with the divine healing code, so that it helps us on a quantum level to heal faster. Okay? Because again, see, gearing up, slowing down to a halt, even changing course, and we want to avoid that. So if there's any anger towards you, even your twin, or even this whole journey, then that's something that you have to let go of. Okay? That's why there is surrender here. and you cannot completely transform until you go through this phase of forgiving everyone that has disappointed you, your twin included. So if you are interested, if you think that would help you, please do visit my website. Again, please bear with the kind of new format and the other step wherein you have to fill out the consent forms. Okay, so that's what I have for you, and I hope this helped. Take care, everyone. Let's hope that we have a great October ahead of us. Okay, bye.